Hi guys, welcome to Antique Sprinklers. We're going to do something a little different tonight. My kids convinced me that some of you might be interested in seeing the different stuff that I brought back from that distributor in Idaho. So where I'm going to show you, and we'll see how that goes, just so that you're not completely disappointed in the whole bit. I took 2 or 3 of the rotors and ran them and videoed them so you can see them in action. They're a little interesting in how they operate. And so to kick it off, I'm going to remind you of the company I went to see. And I'm going to start with some stuff that I don't really collect, but I couldn't pass it up while I was there. So obviously I'm talking about Evergreen Sprinkler Supply, if you've been watching the channel lately. And they are in Boise, Idaho. They were founded in 1957. And they were initially an irrigation installation business. And I think they had at least some equipment private labeled for them. There's no way that you can read that, but maybe I'll get a picture of it in a little bit. And it says Evergreen Sprinkler Company, Boise, right on it. This is a sleeve that would lead to a manual angle valve underground that was used as a control valve. You'd put your forked wrench down in there and turn it on, turn it off. And these were quite common. I have them from a few different manufacturers. And while we're on the topic of valves, and before we talk about how the current family got Evergreen Sprinkler Supply, let me tell you about what I picked up in terms of valves and why. So the first is a salesman's cutaway valve of what is in shorthand called a TH valve, thermal hydraulics. And basically this is a valve that will heat up and it will force a valve to close when it's operating, and it is one of the most sure closing valves ever manufactured. You could buy these through Rainbird. Some of the internal parts are missing here in this one, but I bought it because it's a unique valve. I might do more about these. They show up in a lot of the Rainbird catalogs I have from back in the day, and and I also might do something about the various things that salesmen had to show how the different stuff worked. And you'll see that in some other examples later in this video. This big guy is a piston valve, and this is also another very sure closing. It can work on incredibly low flows. If you watch my buddy Dave of Old School Sprinklers Febco videos, he made some Febco piston valves run, and he showed them operate sprinklers from a hydraulic controller. But this guy is a beast. I put 3 or 4 inch globe piston valves on a project in Washington, D.C. around 1991, I want to say, or 1990. And they just worked and worked and worked. So the others, whoopsie, we have a 930 valve. And there's 2 reasons why I wanted these 930 valves. This is a 930, this is a 931. Obviously, this is a globe style. This is the angle style. And the 930 valve is a great dirty water valve. It's a great slow closing valve. Buckner sold it for a long time. Like I mentioned, these are the examples that were from that period between 1972 and 1980 when JM owned them. It says JM as well as Buckner right on the bonnet. And the flow, the solenoid's on the opposite end that you'd expect. So it's on the inlet side, and there's little holes in the solenoid, and it ports water out to atmosphere when it's going to open. And so with very low flow, it'll open all the way, and it will always close all the way, and it closes very slowly so you avoid water hammer, and it's great for dirty water. And then I'd never in my life seen the angle version of this guy. And so I was just very impressed by that, and I'm very happy to have it. And like I said, I don't collect valves. The last morning I was there, I went in and added them to what I was buying, and I'm glad I did. So some interesting old Buckner stuff here, some of it that was sold by Rainbird, although I think it was made by a company in Denver, Colorado. And we'll work them into some videos in the future. So Evergreen had been founded in 1957, and then in the late 60s, a guy named Nick Ragsdale, who I think was an engineer, and folks, his grandson will probably see this, and he can comment as to whether I got that right or wrong. But he designed some irrigation, got interested in the industry, ended up buying Evergreen, and they might have been both an installer and a supplier, but they came to focus strictly on irrigation supply. They sold a lot of Buckner product. They were also Rainbird dealers back in the day. And they certainly had access to a lot of other lines that you're going to see me pull out of some of the boxes here. So it was really a full service irrigation supply house. And let's turn to like the sprays, and sort of like other odds and ends, and some above ground sprinklers next. So one of the coolest things that I got was this, not quite one of a kind. A few people have these out there, but I'd never seen them before. Is that Rainbird 3800 telescoping spray head. Aquadial is a brand I'm very fond of. Here is a flush mount spray that I hadn't had in my collection before. Here we have an HLG 150, which is a very beefy pop-up spray head, and this is definitely new old stock. Here is a Buckner 403 HPP, and the second P stands for plastic case. And I put a Buckner bubbler on it. I think this is the 401, I think is the model number for those guys. And they made them in various patterns. The one I have on here, I think, is the half circle. The holes in it just are on half of it. Here we have a full circle pop-up spray head from a company called Turfco. In my videos, you might have noticed some Turfco impacts that were made by Western Brass, but Turfco had a full line of underground automatic control system components. Here we have a Moody quick coupler that also looks suspiciously like a Western Brass quick coupler. Assorted sizes of Nelson impact rotor wrenches that will come in handy. A Thompson quick coupler. Thompson, from the very beginning, had Acme threads for their quick coupler keys rather than a lug, and these went underground, and sometimes there would be a cap that would sit on top of those guys. So they're a very cool quick coupler. A Safety Lawn plastic spray head, just because I like Safety Lawn plastic spray heads. Oh, this is nice. This is new old stock. A Skinner LPS, low pop is what that means, spray head with the nozzle and everything, never put in the ground. That guy's got to be from the 1960s because it says Troy, Ohio on it instead of Cincinnati. Here's a flush mount spray body from Safety Lawn. That's the zinc coated version that I'd never seen before. This is a Rainbird 2600 bubbler. And so Rainbird, for this style of sprinkler, had this sort of screen bubbler that's kind of unique to them. And I'm looking forward. I'd seen them in catalogs before, but I'd never run into one out in the wild like this. And then Buckner's B line, so that was their consumer line. And I don't think that the B line was really used in marketing past the 70s. And this is something I'd never seen before, is one of those, their sprinklers kind of with the chrome coating on it. So I thought that was kind of unique. And this I love. This is what remains of, anyway, a Rainbird 22 quick coupler. It's really tiny. It has a 1/2 inch inlet. It's the smallest brass quick coupler I've ever seen. Unfortunately, the lug is broken off of the key, but it's still pretty slick, and I'm still going to hook it up to water to see what happens. It's definitely been through it, but it's worth having because it's so unique, and I don't run into them anywhere. So we were talking about those valve access, iron valve access things. There's probably a better way to say that. This is one from HLG of Beverly Hills. Big Thompson 3/4 inch spray head with a 1/2 circle nozzle in it. And I don't know if you can see the orifice on that nozzle. It's massive. An HLG slit spray nozzle on a flush mount spray head. I think this is the number 60 spray head from HLG. And a Rainbird 181 with what I believe to be a 1/4 circle nozzle in it. And the 181 was Rainbird's 3/4 inch inlet spray head. This is also new old stock. It's never been in the ground. It's probably at least 50 years old or right around there. Another HLG spray head. I have a nozzle that will fit this guy. This one is this one's the number 60. That one over there was the number 102, not a number 60. That's right. And then you guys who are big Buckner fans will recognize the next two. the 108 and the 109. Also new old stock. Here's a little Rainomat number 7 that doesn't belong in this box. I'm going to get to Rotors in a minute. And this one has had a lot of use. So we'll see whether it works or not. See if we can get it running. There's a box of these low volume Thompson cadmium coated sprays. New old stock, had been on the shelf 50 years, maybe a little more. And they're like brand new. This is another one of those sort of stream bubblers from Buckner. I think this is the 3/4. They had many, many patterns. This is some good old-fashioned Buckner coal brass. It's black like plastic, but they made it's made out of coal. It's just made to look like plastic, so you get the good water distribution and even pattern that you get from a brass nozzle, but it doesn't catch the attention of people who are looking for things that they can salvage at a recycler. And since we did that, we should do the 12-inch pop-up from Buckner that has the coal brass top on it. And so it's incredibly durable, but again, it's made to look like it's just a plastic top to a spray head. So that's pretty cool. I think the model number on these guys was 13612. They came out while I was selling Buckner stuff, and we sold a few of them. Everybody knows a rocker jet. This is a 503. It's got the breakaway trip, but it's not the last one. It's not an M, so this guy was made between 1960 and 1965. Let's save that one. Another HLG spray. This is the 100 full circle. This is a part circle Turfco spray head to go with the full circle. Obviously that one's been in the ground too. Here's another one of those bubblers. This guy might be a 3rd or something. Just has holes around the base of it for the water to come out. And then we have this side trip, the 555. And its big brother, the 560. And these are just awesome. I can't decide which of these two to do first. So you know what, we'll do a sidetrack Weathermatic bubbler. Rainjet micro spray. Let's do this guy first. Early 1940s, dual drive, part circle, 3/4 inch wedge and impact sprinkler that is cool as the day is long and works great. And then this one was a new one by me. This is a Rainway sprinkler, and it spins. And my daughter says that a lot of the sprinklers that I show use like slapstick cartoon technology, and this is no exception. This thing whacks this, and that's why it rotates. So we'll be doing some videos on them and talking about the father and son that owned Rainway. So that brings us to the end of spray heads and sort of miscellaneous stuff and above ground sprinklers. And with that, I'll mention that after Nick Ragsdale had Evergreen Sprinkler Supply for 25 years, he turned the business over to his son, Randy. And Randy ran it for 25 years. And we know during that time they were supplying golf courses, virtually any kind of turf or landscape irrigation installation you could imagine. And it was during that time that they, or it was actually during Dick's time, that they built the building that I was in, that they're in today. That was in 1977. It's a big, beautiful building with plenty of parking, a yard out back for pipe, etc. Just a nice setup for an irrigation distributorship. And so we're going to switch now to taking a look at the big impact rotors that I brought back. All right, so one of the things that when I was first talking to Nick at Evergreen Supply that he showed me was some new old stock impact rotors that he had that he thought I might be interested in. He was absolutely right. And there's only a few different varieties, and I'm only showing one of each as we go through this stuff. So I think I'm going to start with a new old stock IP 101. This is from the Buckner by Storm days. It's a 1-inch part circle plastic case impact rotor. I think it's anti-backsplash. It has a check valve in it. It is not anti-backsplash. It just has a spoon drive, but it does have a diffuser pin. So we'll be having some fun with that and showing it running. And then I also got an IB 101, which also has a check valve. And let's see here, is also not anti-backsplash. This one has a rubber cover though, and it is adjustable part circle. And so that'll be fun. So these guys are like 98 to 2005 maybe, roughly, is when they're from. And then there's this nice Weathermatic full circle 3/4 inch impact, cast iron case, plastic lid oddly enough, and it's going to run great here. So we'll be showing that. And this one was interesting to me because, you know, I'm really familiar with Moody. I've never seen that logo before, if you can make that out. I'm hoping the camera is tracking and focusing on that. I might have to take a million pictures when we're done here. It is also a 3/4 inch impact, full circle, and it's going to run great here as well. And then, the most amazing thing. This is from Royal Coach, not from Royal Coach Buckner. So it's from 1975 to 1980. It is 1.5 inch cast iron 10-110, which means it's the full circle impact. And I don't know how well you can see that, but it's got a 1730 seconds by 1/4 nozzle configuration, full circle only, aluminum lid. That might be, yeah, aluminum. And cast iron body, beautiful green paint still on it, new old stock, Royal Coach, and then you see the coach itself. So I'm super excited to have this thing, even though there's no way I can run it. I'm going to have to find a friend to run it. But what an amazing find. Just terrific. And so those are examples of the big impact rotors I found. And I'll do the smaller rotors next. But before I do that, so Randy ran the company for 25 years and then turned it, and I got to meet him briefly while I was out there, a very nice guy. And he actually took note of the TH valve that was there. So he had just a quick conversation about that. And Nick now has run it for, say, the last 5 to 7 years. And they're doing great. Obviously, they still have all the turf and landscape business, a thriving retail business. A lot of homeowners come in. And as a matter of fact, while I was there that day, that was a lot of the foot traffic. And they had quite a bit of business. And the other really cool thing that he does is he will fix the RC controllers from Rainbird, like the RC7A, the RC7BI, the RC1260. And I think either while I was there or within a couple of days, they'd actually repaired 3 of them. He was able to get his hands on motors from the motor manufacturer and really understands how those things work. So that's something that I just respect the daylights out of, is somebody who's taking those old clocks that were so great, and he's still keeping them in service for folks. And they have this wall of old controllers there for repair and for parts that is really impressive, and I'll try to remember to put up a picture of it as well. So with that, I'm going to switch to the last box I'm going to show you, and that is all the smaller rotors that I brought back. So today Nick runs the business. His sister Erin is involved, so it's very much a growing family concern. If you're somebody who's interested in some old things, off the top of my head, they have a shelving unit full of all kinds of brass nozzles still, including bigger nozzles all sizes of nozzles that'll go into some of the Rainbird impacts, but also coarse and fine thread spray nozzles, nozzles for the old 2800 spray, the original Space 15 from Rainbird. Some of those HLG flush mount sprays I showed you, the Model 100 with the full circle nozzle. I know there's still some of those there. A variety of old brass valves that are new old stocks in Buckner. There's a series of smaller clay valves that he had there. So interesting place. Of course, most of the equipment that he has in inventory is modern day Hunter, Rainbird, Irritrol, I think those were the big manufacturers that I saw. Certainly pipe and fittings of all kinds, all varieties, saddles, etc. Just a whole bit, wire, I'm sure, everything you would need for your irrigation business. So with that, let's see what order I want to do these guys in. Here we have a Rainbird Talon rotor. Here we have a Safety Lawn 1-inch ball drive, which kind of has an over-under nozzle arrangement in it. And it has a rubber cover. The Talon has a rubber cover as well. This is a Royal Coach after they bought Buckner. 17011, which means it's their 3/4 inch plastic impact. It has a rubber cover, and I don't know if you can see it, but it has this really funky anti-backsplash tube on it hanging off the side. It's really cool, and I might actually put a zone of these in my yard because I really like them. In the same vein, here's a very early Royal Coach 10-0, is it a 10 or 11? 10-0-11, it's part circle. And it's their first shot at this. I feel very certain that this guy came along in the mid 70s, maybe the late 70s at the earliest. It's tiny. This is essentially meant to be the same sprinkler, just different generations. You can tell the relative size of them. So I'm excited to run this guy too. And while we're talking about these two sprinklers, this is Royal Coach's 10-010 salesman sample cutaway. You can see how the whole thing works there. It was a full circle brass internal plastic case, had a green plastic lid on it. I've got one of these, whole one in my collection already, and I've shown it run before, but I'll have something coming out that shows it again. And since we're on that topic of salesman cutaways, this is a 15111 cutaway. Pretty sweet, right? You got your 25 there, adjustable part circle. See how the whole thing, water goes in, it rises up and goes, and it has the DA and the PJ tube. Pretty nice, huh? It's so hard to decide what to pick out next, honestly. So we saw the Rhinomat number 7. This is a Rhinomat number 9. It's kind of their medium distance ball drive. Works great. This is the number 9, but a part circle and with a rubber cover on it. And the rubber cover is pretty dry and hard, but that's what they thought a football player should put his knee on or something like that back in the day. And then this is a Rhinomat number 11 with a rubber cover, and it's just the next size up from the number 9. And here's the biggest one of the time, the number 12, and this is also a full size, a full circle. And the 9 was a 3/4 inch, the 11 was a 1-inch inlet, and this guy is a 1-inch inlet, but I'm still pretty confident that I can run it. Let's put these guys out here where you can see them. And I'm confident of that because I put a bushing in it and I ran it. Gosh, wow, where to go next? All right, so a lot of people know about the 1360, a lot of people know about the 1330. They also made a 1310 cam rotor, Buckner did. Look how little bitty that guy is. It's not the smallest, it's not the 1300. This is full circle only, probably about 4 gallons a minute. And it works really great. It is also new old stock. It's never been put in the ground. And this one has a rubber cover on it. And then, I looked up the model numbers of these today. These are from the mid to late 1970s from L.R. Nelson. And they're also new old stock. They were behind a box that was behind a box. It was just pure luck that I found it. It's the 3/4 circle and the full circle. They're rotors. The model numbers, I think, are 6533 and 6534, if I'm not mistaken, or the GS4 and the GS3. And the GS stands for Green Shield, which was sort of a product line that L.R. Nelson had. And they're not ball drives. There's just like a turbine in there that spins. And there's a stainless steel ring. When I do a video on them, I'll show you better. But there's a stainless steel ring in there, which is the thing that the vane makes spin. And it hits like a hexagonal turret, and that makes the whole thing spin. And you can adjust the speed of rotation. It's pretty slick the way these things come apart. but we're just showing you what I brought home today. We're not going into a deep dive on those guys. And then probably the most interesting, I think, although all this stuff is incredible, are the tri-packed sprinklers from Rainbird. The full circle, the 34F, was out for a few years. The 34P, the part circle, I still can't figure out how long it was out. Maybe a year. Anecdotally, I know somebody who knew people who worked at Rainbird at the time, and they were talking about how they were developing a part circle to go along with the full circle. But at some point in that development, it was canceled because there were product problems. I heard from another person that several were put in the ground and replaced because they ended up not working. And this guy works great, but it's never been in the ground. It's new old stock. And, you know, I know the data patent and stuff like that on it, but I can't find it in any Rainbird literature anywhere, not even parts breakdowns that have the full circle in it. So there's a little bit of a mystery as to when it was on the market and how long. But the answer is briefly, whatever that date is that we find out that it was out for sale from Rainbird. So this is the stuff I brought back. I didn't bring it back. I got it on an airplane, and Nick and the good folks at Evergreen Sprinkler Supply put this in FedEx, and on my birthday, all but one of the 6 boxes showed up, and the 6th one showed up on Monday. So it all got here in great shape, even though I'm the one who packed it, which is no small miracle. I can't say enough great things about Evergreen Sprinkler Supply or Nick Ragsdale, his whole crew there. They were just awesome people. There was this young guy who kept checking on me because I probably looked like I was 1,000 years old to him, and it was a hot day. But they were just really, really super folks. And if you do need some irrigation equipment, I would encourage you to patronize their business. With that, as I promised, I'll show you just a couple of these things running. So this video won't be a complete waste to you if you like to see sprinklers run. They're going to be very brief, and it's just going to be a few of them. But I hope you enjoy it. Again, I'm still amazed that anybody watches this thing, so thank you very much for that. If you have any questions about any of the sprinklers you've seen, or if you have any comments, or if you've worked with them or know something about them, feel free to drop something in the comments. It's always fun to see the conversation start there. And again, thank you so much for continuing to watch.